Welcome again to Profile. I'm Ian Boyne, your host. We continue our interviews on religious movements this afternoon. We look at the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, and in our studios is Archbishop Yesehaq, who is Archbishop in charge of the Ethiopian Orthodox Churches for the Western Hemisphere. He talks about the current crisis in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, as well as the relationship between the church and the Rastafarians. We answer your questions. Do stay tuned. Archbishop Yesehaq, it is so good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
The Ethiopian Orthodox Church is known by many people, but a lot of people do not know exactly what the Ethiopian Orthodox Church stands for. Many people think it's a Rastafarian church. It's a church of the Rastafarians. You are the man who established a church in Jamaica in 1970.
Right.
That's what? 25 years ago.
Right.
You established a church here. What is your relationship with the Rastafarian community?
Okay. Well, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church is known as the ancient Christian church in the world.
The oldest Christian church.
The oldest Christian church in the world. And it teaches Christ as Creator and Savior. Mm-hmm. And also maintain the apostolic tradition and succession. Mm-hmm. Well, when we come to the Rastafarians' philosophy, it is well known. I don't have to explain their philosophy, but the church teaches differently, and the Rastafarians, not everybody, but most Rastafarians, then they have their own philosophy. Now, it will be very difficult for the church to give up this ancient belief and doctrine which exists from the time of the apostle. Now, also the church teaches Christianity and Christ our Savior. Well, I would say the majority of its members are from the Rastafarians.
In Jamaica?
In Jamaica, yes. Only in Jamaica.
You've attracted a lot of Rastafarians here.
As a matter of fact, between 1970 to 1970
to 1990 something.
Yes, 1978, about 20,000 people have been baptized.
20,000? That seems like an exaggerated
in Jamaica,
figure.
Really, no, not
20,000?
Really. Yes. And then what happened is that afterwards, there was a lot of disappointment because so many Rastafarians expected that, you know, the church has to teach exactly.
Oh, so they felt that you would have embraced their ideology.
Yes, but it was difficult for me. Although I want them to be in the church, and I would not condemn their belief, because every man is free to believe and worship the way he wanted. But
if he's a member of the church, he must follow the doctrines of the church.
He must follow the teaching and doctrine of the church. That is.
And you don't accept this view that Selassie is God, divine, that Selassie was
to them,
the reincarnated Christ.
Yes, to the Rastafarian, he is God. But to the Ethiopians and to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, he is not God. He is
in fact, he was a member of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church.
He was a member of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church.
Yes.
And a defender of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, really.
Yes. So why didn't he do more to dispel this heretical belief of the Rastafarians?
Well, you see...
He must have heard that these people felt that he was God. Why didn't he do something to dispel that myth?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he sent me for this purpose.
He sent you?
Yes, he tried to, to try to introduce the culture and the teaching of our church. So that's why I came. It was not only the patriarch who sent me, but he himself.
He himself sent you?
Yeah, I was then a priest, a high priest in 1970. I was not a bishop. So they sent me, he selected me and sent me here to do that. If it was not for that, they might not have accepted me anyway.
So you came with Selassie's endorsement?
Yes, and Selassie is very important. He is the vehicle for the Rastafarian community to really come
accept the church.
Yes, to accept the church, and I appreciate that too. Although I wouldn't say that the church teaching must change into other philosophy, but
baptized so many thousands.
Yes.
They left and went over to Baba Dread and 12 tribes.
They did all over. Yes,
they couldn't let go of this myth that Selassie
and
was
then
the returned Christ.
Many others still remain throughout the island. They are faithful and they worship, and we have 5 churches or 6 churches in the island.
You have 6 churches in the island now?
Yeah, but they are, most of them are
small.
bamboo, built by bamboo and
I see.
And
small,
so
small,
yes, that's right.
Okay.
We do have, and that is it, really. That is it. And
now, what was your position on the dreadlocks? Do you like the dreadlock? Did you try to discourage them from wearing the dreadlocks?
No. First time I came, I never discouraged the dreadlock appearance, because I know that this is what they want to be.
Yes.
And I say to myself, man must not be condemned because of his appearance.
Okay.
So it was, however, a problem in the public that, oh, this is Rastafarian church, Abba, Mandafro is, at that time, the Rasta priest, and all this. And in fact, I advised some few people, and they cut it, and they called me Barba, Abba, Barba. Yeah, and this then...
But you advised some of the Rastafarians to cut their hair?
I did, yes.
Oh, okay.
I did, because, because many of them, they couldn't get job. And many of them also rejected to work. They say that they will work in Africa, and I encourage them to have their own work and to establish businesses and all that, and they did, a lot of them.
So you tried to help them to integrate in the society?
Of course, even the biggest artists, well-known artists who died now, like, I have to encourage them to go ahead and make it,
I see.
Yes,
you baptized Bob Marley?
I did baptize Bob Marley, and the presence of his wife Rita Marley and his children.
Yes.
Yes, family, only the family, because he was not so willing to have it officially. It was difficult for him, yes.
To get it, yes.
Which I don't want to describe.
Okay. Okay.
And anyway, this is what it happened,
Yes. Now, your church also, you see, a lot of people don't understand, your eminence, that the Ethiopian Orthodox Church is a Christian church. In fact, you are very close to the Roman Catholic Church. Your traditions are very similar to the Roman Catholic Church. If anybody were to go into an Ethiopian Orthodox Church, you would be amazed as to how the rituals are the same. You believe in the veneration of the saints.
Yes,
you believe in the veneration of Mary.
Right.
The traditional doctrines.
We do all
you have
this.
maintained of the Catholic Church.
Yes, it's really very little different. The difference is, we still have different, of course.
But certain minor differences. Papal infallibility, the nature of Christ.
The nature of Christ,
and I think the Holy Spirit.
And the procession of the Holy Spirit.
Yes, but those are the 3 minor things.
Those minor,
so you're an Orthodox Christian church.
Right. They will call them today that they are minor, things, but before they were considered important.
Yes, man.
They
were the issues.
were the things that people had been fighting from church to church, separation. Yes, that's what it is.
Yes.
So now, with the Roman Catholic Church, we have also consultation program, dialogue rather. We are learning of each other. I'm a member of the Oriental Orthodox Church and Roman Catholic Bishop Conference in the United States and Canada. We have been working together for 15 years.
Having dialogue with the Catholic Church.
We're having dialogue, and we are trying to understand each other, and perhaps maybe one day we'll come together. That's the hope.
Yeah. We're going to take a break at this point. Later on we'll speak more about Bob Marley's relationship with the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and the role of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church today. We'll be back shortly. Welcome again to Profile. We're speaking to Archbishop Yesehaq, who is responsible for the Ethiopian Orthodox churches in the Western Hemisphere. Archbishop, your church would be opposed to concubinage, a man just living with a woman without marriage. A lot of Rastafarians love that practice. Well, what about Rastafarians who are members of your church? What if they engage?
The church does not agree with such life, because the church believes in marriage, one man and one woman, as it is from the beginning.
Not one man with 7 women, like some Rasta
Not
man.
some, that is a Muslim tradition.
Muslim?
So, yeah, that's not the Christian tradition. So we do not practice that, and we do not allow to happen here.
So what do you do with members
with our members?
What do you do with members who flout that?
Well, we advise them
to
limit themselves.
But you don't excommunicate them?
Well, we do not excommunicate, but they listen to us.
Yes.
They are willing to listen.
But Bob Marley was a very good member at all. He was a most delinquent member when it came to sexual matters.
Well, Bob Marley
Why,
was...
were you afraid to discipline because he was a celebrity?
No. Bob Marley was a man that he was coming along to learn so much about the principle of the church. Because I told him how His Majesty lived with one woman, with one wife. He only had one queen. Yes, and he believed. Some other people advised him that he is the grandson of David and Solomon and David has many wives and all that. But I told him, no, that's wrong. Just follow His Majesty. So he said, yes, Abba, I will follow His Majesty. And he was really coming to realize that, you know.
But he was a man who believed in a lot of women.
Well, that I don't know. That's his private things.
Yes.
I really don't know so much. But
you had to warn him at one time.
I did.
Because must be some reason why you warned him.
Yeah, when I heard something like that.
It's a public knowledge.
He had some
children,
women's other than his wife.
Yes.
I advised him many times, and he listened to me really. He said, "This, yes, you are right. I'm going to follow this." That's why he was.
So he was trying to.
Yes,
at least the church warned him.
He was really, he was really trying to follow this tradition. And when he was baptized, he cried for half an hour.
Oh.
And I considered it as
he cried.
Repentant. He cried. He was washed out with.
What year Bob Marley was baptized in the church? You remember?
Oh, it was. I forget. It's about 7 months before he died.
Oh, he baptized late.
Yes.
7 months before he died.
Yes.
Okay. I see.
It was late because
so
that's
why judge him too harshly.
Before, it was difficult.
Before.
It was even difficult before, you know, to even discuss matter because he was not a member of the church.
I see.
You know, so
after,
even though I was very close to him, you know.
Oh, you knew him long before you were baptized?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, he was always ready to be baptized in Maxfield Avenue and call the media and all that, but for several reasons, he could not do it. And we have to put
it
off.
And his wife Rita is still a faithful member of the church?
Oh, yes. Her and her children from 1973. She was baptized. She never lived.
Oh, Rita was baptized early?
Oh, yes. The main supporter.
Yes.
Yes, of the church and very faithful.
Very faithful to
and teach the teaching of the church, all the brothers and sisters really.
Let me ask you, Archbishop, did Bob Marley in his sort of later months of his life, did he come to give up the view that Selassie was God? Did you have the discussion with him on that?
Well, let me tell you, Bob never even mentioned about His Majesty as God in front of me.
Oh.
He always asked me, Abba, who is Christ? I told him, Christ, Jesus Christ, the one who was crucified.
Yes.
Aha. Good. You see, Bob is not an easy person. You see, he's very diplomatic too, you know.
Yes.
Especially, he has a very good respect and a great respect, rather, for me, you know.
Oh.
Anything that is not right, he would not do in front of me, whatever. Yes.
I see.
He has a great respect, as I come from Ethiopia.
Yes.
And he was really a very respectful person.
Yes.
And we had no much discuss. But one thing I remember about him, about Dreadlock, is that I asked him, Bob, why do other children, Rasta children, they grow their hair from, because I see little ones also grow their dread.
Yes, yes.
It become dread. I told him, his children, all of them had nothing. So why then? I said to him, Abba, I would never persecute my children. I would never force them to do. When they grow, if they like it, they will make decision for themselves.
Yes.
That's what he told
me.
It was really great, you know. Great, yeah.
Yeah. How do you find that some of the Rastafarians are saying now that, boy, the Ethiopian Orthodox are sold out because, you have not accepted all of their distinctive beliefs and so on?
Yes. Many. There are many opposition everywhere that Abba was sent for us by the emperor, and He is just teaching like any other Christian churches, you know. But
see,
I
they're
told
disappointed
them,
in that.
Yes, and but I keep telling them that the differences, you know, this is their church,
yes,
where Marcus Garber spoke about.
Yes, yes.
This is the church.
Does the church put a lot of emphasis on black identity? Or it emphasizes more what is common among all Christians of all races?
Well, let me tell you, the church is universal.
Universal, yes.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when you go to identity, the church believes that, okay, then the children of Noah, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, they are all together from one father, from Noah.
Yes.
And then they are cousins. Whether you are white, yellow, or black, they are cousins. So that's why we do have also the flag, Ethiopian flag, has 3 colors. And the 3 colors also, it represents the 3 races. Yes, but it doesn't mean that it's to
so you don't preach black power at the
no,
exclusion of anything?
No, but of course, Ethiopia, nowadays now, is coming to emphasize the awareness, you know, of blackness. And also, although this happened, the church does not take any step to say that, you know, this black is this and black is this and white is nothing and whatever. No, we don't say that.
What do you feel generally about the kind of Christianity that we have been exposed to in the West? The Christianity from North America and from Europe. Has this done a lot of damage to us,
well,
Archbishop?
Yes, well, let me tell you, Christianity, it is only the Ethiopian Orthodox Church that never involved in this kind of slavery business and all that. But I feel, you know, historically, I am sure that some other people would not like me to talk about it, but the churches in the West, they have been instrumental to make slavery out of human being.
Yes.
You know, and man is made in the image of God, and we all are equal in the sight of God. Yes. And the churches were just the same thing. And you know, when
so the Ethiopian Orthodox Church managed to keep itself pure.
Yes. You see, man is free because Christ made us free. And you cannot be just a slave. And the church must know how to teach, how to address the people, because they are free people. They are just, they worship God, and Christ is the master. Not even the master. He said that I'm not the master, I'm your friend. So the churches in the West really, in the past, it is past, but they should be blamed for what they have done against the people, the freedom of the people.
Archbishop, do we as black people hold the heritage as being the first monotheists, the first set of people who believed in one God? We as blacks, do we have that heritage?
Now, yes, they're trying to do. But, you know, in the past centuries, you know, that there was nothing like that, because first of all, black people have been considered like they don't have no God. They have no, you see, when the rich man or the European man worship the sea, the poor black man has to worship in a little river, when even none of them is God. And when the rich man or white man worship to the big tree, then the slave black man who is a slave, he has to worship the little tree. So this was the case, you know, in the past.
But how far do you trace the Ethiopian Orthodox Church? Not just from New Testament, but from the Old Testament?
From the Old Testament. We traced from the time of Noah. Noah again. The father of the 3 races, leading races, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And then the Ethiopians, they follow after the manner of Noah and worship the one God, while other world were worshiping images.
And then the Queen of Sheba too.
And then when it comes to 1000 BC, then the Queen of Sheba, Makeda, she heard about the wisdom of Solomon, and she visited him in Jerusalem. And she proved it. There was also a man who worshipped now, the true God. And then it was a great encouragement.
So Ethiopians have a long history of worshiping one God.
A long history of worshiping one God. And then they kept the prophecy. Ethiopians kept the prophecy that God is going to be incarnate in the Virgin Mary and for our salvation. And when the time was fulfilled, it was one of the wise men who came to Bethlehem to worship him with gift, incense, gold and frankincense, myrrh. It was Ethiopian king, one of them.
Ethiopian king?
Yeah, King Bazan. He ruled Ethiopia 9 years, 8 years before Christ was born, and then 9 years after Christ was born. And then it was that time that he went there with other Magi's and worshiped him.
So the Ethiopians have a long tradition. Of course,
oh, yes.
The Ethiopian eunuch was met by Philip. So Christianity
went by Philip, 34 AD after Christ.
So we have been at this thing a long time.
Yes, and he was baptized, and he introduced Christianity to Ethiopia. He baptized Queen Candace, and at that time, and then he baptized Ethiopian. For instance, after the Pentecost, 50 days after Easter.
Yes.
When then the disciples, after they received the power, they cast a lot, and Matthew and Thomas,
yes,
were to go to Ethiopia. They went, in fact.
I see.
One went to Nubia, which is Sudan today, and one to Ethiopia.
Okay.
And when Matthew went, he saw the Ethiopian women having tattoo in their forehead.
Okay.
Tattoo.
So the tradition has been here long. We have to cut off now for the final break, but we'll be back shortly. Welcome to the final segment of Profile. Archbishop Yesehaq, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church worldwide is now rent. I don't think since the 16th century has there been this major division in the church. We have a patriarch now, whom you and many others are saying is not the true patriarch. What's the issue, briefly?
Okay, the issue is that we have canon law in our church. The canon law stated that while there is a patriarch alive, there should not be a new patriarch to be appointed or elected. Mm-hmm. Now, this patriarch, called himself Patriarch Paulos, he had been appointed, elected, whatever, through the help of the present government, because he is related ethnically. The government are from the northern part of Ethiopia, who took the power now, and then now they throw away the patriarch.
Oh, the government did that? They overthrew the former patriarch?
Yes, but they used some of the church people to do that.
Oh.
And then police came and all that. Then he was under arrest somewhere for a few months. After that, then he was afraid of his life, and he flew to Kenya. Now he is in exile in Kenya.
That's the man you recognize as a true patriarch?
Yes.
He's in exile?
Yes. Many archbishops have left their country because of religious persecution. And many others in Gondar province, while they are in prayer, many clergy, they have been killed because they don't recognize Paulos.
They've been killed?
Yes. And Paulos is not recognized not only by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church member in Ethiopia and here, but also is not recognized by the whole Orthodox churches in the East and West.
The Greek Orthodox Church doesn't recognize it?
The Greek.
The Syrian doesn't recognize it?
The Syrian, the Armenian, the Egyptian, in fact, the Indian Orthodox Church, the Russian. In fact, the Egyptian Orthodox Church, they ordain bishops and priests, ignoring him, and send them to Eritrea and other places.
So he doesn't have the support of the people?
No, he doesn't have.
International.
When you go to church, the church is empty, right there. The people leave, yeah. And then he came to New York. The members say that we don't want him. He is not our representative, because we are loyal to the true patriarch, lawfully elected, Mercurius. That's what they say.
Mercurius, yes.
Yeah, and I myself also am loyal to the patriarch, who is lawfully elected and who is in exile.
And this present patriarch, you know him? You grew up with him?
I know him. I'm sorry to say that I grow with him, but I grow with him from childhood. And we went to school together. We went in Ethiopia and in Vladimir Orthodox Seminary and Princeton. We went all over. We were really friends, good friends, which I have to be patient to be with him anyway. So many, in so many respects.
And the majority of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church members in Jamaica have remained faithful to you and to Mercurius. They have rejected this
all of them
present
throughout
Paulos.
the island, the member of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church.
Yes.
They don't want Paulos, except that There are two people
Yes.
here. They call
David and
themselves,
these, yes.
yeah, they call themselves Saint Athanasius and so forth.
Yes. But the final thing, we're running out of time, the Jamaica Council of Churches
Yes.
has accepted this Paulus and has rejected your patriarch. Final comment, a few seconds.
Well, okay. The Jamaican Council of Churches, if they accept Paulus, they are wrong. Why they are wrong?
But they studied for 2 years.
Well, they studied 2 years, but they must be graduated in the right way. No, what happened is, you see, you cannot deal with man to man, one man to one man, or government to government. We believe that church is the people. The people is the church. What about the masses throughout the island who have been faithful and member of the JCC? What do they mean by that? Throw them out? What do they want them to go to be different people again? Or what? The Council of Churches really must consider these things and investigate more, the matter, instead of saying, well, because he's sitting in Addis Ababa and he must be the patriarch.
Just because he's there, is in the seat, they accept him for that.
Yeah.
Archbishop Yesehaq, you have done well. You brought your thing here to bless. You haven't given me any blessing with that. But.
And one of the things is that if they don't accept us, they accept the people there. Who care?
You don't care if they want. Whether the council wanted, accept it or not.
Christ is our identity.
Christ. Strong words here. Profile continues this tradition of controversy. It's tradition of information gathering. We thank you very much for having been with us this week. Until next week, Ian Bourne wishing you a very pleasant and a very productive week.